Did you know that Partnership for Children Johnston County provides a variety of support programs to families such as the Parents as Teachers program, Early Learning Resource Centers, and Safety Education? Parents as Teachers provides monthly in-home services to educate parents about child development and parenting skills. Also, the Partnership for Children is the lead agency for Safe Kids Johnston County and the Buckle Up Car Seat program. To learn more about the partnership and what they do to improve the well-being of Johnston County children and families, call 919-202-0002.
Technology-assisted traditional practice approach to cause advocacy in an effort to provide balance. My broad goal was to utilize technology to assist in the current immediate needs and efforts of the cause while maintaining the traditional multifaceted approach to political advocacy and activism at the local and state levels. As a group, we felt the need to focus on getting the message of the potential funding cuts out to those affected by the cuts and the community, thereby building a system of supporters. We wanted to reach a substantial amount of interested and invested NC citizens in a short period of time. Another objective was to give community members a voice and to encourage them to share their stories with local representatives. Ultimately, our intents were to utilize research conducted, stories of support, mass community involvement, and media coverage to encourage local representatives to vote against cutting Smart Start and more for funding in NC. For example, to maintain traditional practice efforts, I wrote letters to and phoned state representatives. I created an example letter of support of my own as a guide for community members interested in sharing their own stories. In addition, I developed an example request form for letters of support from current and former parents of children who have participated in the More For program. Next, I created a video of an interview with Camille Altman, Director of Building Blocks Child Care and Development Center in Clayton. Lastly, I presented a PSA on the local WNPM WPTF radio station with Linda Carroll, General Manager and part owner of the radio station. In order to promote the use of Internet activism, I recruited members to the Facebook page We Are Against Cutting Smart Start and More For. I posted updates on Facebook, encouraged financial donations via the NC Smart Start website, and recruited members to sign the existing online petition. Next, I emailed legislators with valid stories and comments about why Smart Start and More For funding should be protected on the state level. As my primary online advocacy piece for the Community Organizing Project, I created a Google site which explains the importance of Smart Start and the More For programs, as well as their benefits, and contains success stories from parents, resources pertaining to the cause, and the latest news on Smart Start and More For in North Carolina. During this project, I learned a lot about myself as an organizer, as well as how to utilize the Internet to support advocacy efforts, promote awareness, and build a system of support that makes your cause's goals achievable while giving a voice to and promoting the empowerment of everyday people. I feel that utilizing a technology-assisted traditional practice approach to advocacy is beneficial to any cause because it covers those who have access to the Internet as well as those who do not. More importantly, I learned the skills it takes to be a community organizer, including knowledge of the needs of the community, a strategy based on knowledge of the issue, knowledge of policy and how it affects individuals, communities, and societies, willingness to network and form partnerships, excellent communication skills, and dedication. The most significant challenge in my project was getting ESL families involved in the cause. This deficit was related to the fact that most ESL families who benefit from More For do not have access to the Internet and cannot vote because they are undocumented. These are the children that will be most affected by these cuts and merges. Unfortunately, I feel that their parents didn't really have a voice as a result of my advocacy efforts. In the future, I would strive to involve the Hispanic community more in these efforts. There needs to be encouragement of more involvement from this community as a whole. They constantly get pushed aside and do not receive services that they need to attain well-being. As a result, the children suffer and the lack of education becomes a generational cycle. I believe that when one person speaks out, it can and does make a difference. In order for my project to make a substantial difference long term, I will need to continue my advocacy efforts, as well as alter and enhance them when they are insufficient or need improvement. We'll now hear from Camille Altman, Director of Building Blocks Child Care and Development Center. Camille Altman, Director of Building Blocks Child Care and Development Center here in Clayton, North Carolina. How are you today, Camille?
I'm good.
Good. So your title is Director of Building Blocks Child Care and Development Center. How long have you been in child care?
It's 2001.
Okay. And you are affiliated with Partnership for Children Johnston County. Can you tell me how you collaborate with them?
We have a lot of their technical assistants come out and help us with classroom arrangement and getting prepared for the environmental rating scales and to help improve our scores. We also have the inclusion specialists come out to help the teachers if there's a behavior problem that they need some extra tricks to help with.
Okay. So you are aware of the possible cuts to Smart Start funding.
Yes.
How will those cuts affect the quality of education that you are able to provide to young children in the center?
As far as Smart Start and the cuts go, the biggest impact is going to be with wages and teach wages. There's a bonus program that the teachers qualify for, and it's based on their education level and their longevity with the centers. And then teach is the scholarship that helps them continue their education. And if those pieces are cut, then it definitely hurt the quality.
So it will definitely affect the educational attainment of the teachers.
Yes.
And at that point, it will affect the quality of education that we are able to provide to the children in the centers.
If wages is cut, then that would ultimately increase the tuition rates for the center across the board as we try to increase the pay rates of the staff. And then that is going to make quality early education unattainable for a lot of families because they won't be able to afford it, which is going to affect the statewide families so that they wouldn't be able to go work.
So these cuts are going to have a large impact on the economy, on the children's development statewide. Okay, and you guys have the More at Four program here, and that is one of the programs that is looking at funding cuts or possible merging through DCD. And can we talk a little bit about the merge, if the merge does happen with the Department of Child Development? How will that affect the More at Four program?
It's a little bit up in the air. They've been back and forth on the hours that will be available. The original budget that came out, the draft, said that they were going to make it a full-day program, which would make it less beneficial for the center to have the More at Four class in there because they wouldn't be able to have school age in the morning and afternoon to fill the classroom. If the funding stays at the same amount, but it changes to a full day, then it's hard to say how it would happen, how it would affect everything. The new budget that has just come out has changed that verbiage to be 6.5 to 10 hours in a day. So that's a little bit different, and it's also 10 months rather than 12 months.
So that's a little bit better. So we're making a little bit of progress. Okay.
But as it stands right now, of course, More at Four is only run during the school year and it's run during school hours.
Okay.
Public school hours.
So how many More at Four classrooms do you have at all of your building blocks locations? You have 4 locations.
9 classrooms.
9 classrooms. And so if this program was cut and was handled through DCD, there's a possibility that you could lose those classrooms, that would affect your teachers. Tell me what the More at Four program does for children.
The ratios are lower. It's 1 to 9 versus 1 to 12 in a lot of the regular classrooms. The teachers are more highly educated, and so they're able to support the development of the young children, especially the ones who are at risk. We have a lot of ESL students, and we have a lot of teachers that are bilingual to help involve families more and improve communication in the early education.
And these children who are ESL, they're learning, the customs. They're learning how to socialize, in an environment where they're speaking English. And a lot of times these children don't get that at home. And in Johnston County, we have a really large Hispanic community. And so it's really important that we're able to reach these children. If they cut the More at Four program, or they handle it through Department of Child Development, are you afraid that some of those children that are ESL or that are special needs will not receive services?
Absolutely.
And then at that point, when they enter the school system, how will that affect them?
It would affect the whole kindergarten class because kindergarten teacher would have to spend time working with the group that's at the bottom of that totem pole to bring them up to normal, and that would put the kids who are high on the totem pole back down because they would be having to catch up with the rest of the group.
Okay. So, how will your organization be affected by the proposed cuts in funding?
Wow. The biggest thing is the teachers losing the benefits of the wages and the teachers.
And if the teachers lose those benefits, then they may be more likely to go to, say, the public school system or to find employment or into a different field because they love what they do, but they're not able to, support their own family.
Yeah. For us, early educators, a big part of our reimbursement is the enrichment paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have to pay your bills.
Mm-hmm. And you're able, the Duke research that went on, can we talk a little bit about that? The research proved that children, at the third grade level when they start taking the EOGs here, did better on the EOGs when they had more early childhood education, when they had participated in Smart Start funded and more for programs. And so tell me a little bit more about that research and why you think that the legislators don't understand the importance of the research, the significance that these programs have on early childhood development.
There is absolutely nothing better for a child than to be with their family and in their home environment. But parents are not educated at the same level as our teachers are. And it's what we do, it's what we've been trained to do. And we can help children form the connections in the early years. Birth to 5 is the most important as far as brain development goes. There's connections going on that are going to affect the whole life. And the dendrite trees, if they're formed, the connections are formed now, then the dendrite trees are there to grow.
And if they don't use those skills from a very early age, if they don't develop those skills, then they lose those skills. Okay. So what message would you like to get out to the local legislators about Smart Start and the molecular program and how it really has a very positive impact on the community and how if the programs are cut, it's going to have a very negative impact on the community and the state as a whole?
I would encourage legislators to come and visit the classrooms. You can't understand the impact until you've seen it. We're going to bring that.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Altman, for meeting with me today. You had a lot of great information, and I really hope that the legislators start to understand the importance of these programs and that they show that we are going to put North Carolina children first. We are not going to neglect their education.
Thank you.
Thank you.